Hey, welcome. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is what are you leaving behind? What are you going to be able to move on from and move towards? All right. So we have three groups for you to choose from. Group one, the peacock's oar. Group two, the citrine crystal. And group three, the blue apatite. Okay. So group one, two, and three. If you do need to take a moment to choose your group, go ahead. I will see you in your readings. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the first group, the Peacock's Oar, then this reading's for you. What are you leaving behind? All right, so we have the Seven of Pentacles upright. We also have the Nine of Cups upright as well. All right, so it feels like this group is leaving behind having to be patient, whether that patience has been in love, career, personal goals that you may have, but it feels like something that you've been really patient towards. You won't have to do that anymore moving forward. So it feels like you would know more so what that patience is in regards to. But something has been slow and steady, not much movements or just baby steps. But something or someone you're passionate about is going to take off like a rocket, it feels like, for this group. But this energy feels quite exciting, it feels quite exhilarating as well. So you're leaving behind being patient and waiting for something to take off. You're also leaving behind holding yourself back in any way, whether that's subconsciously or consciously, um, and leaving behind indecision as well, and not knowing what your next step is or what it should be. You're going to be so sure and confident in what you should do next, leading you further towards success or towards a goal that you have or a mission that you're trying to achieve. So it also feels like people and goals will be moving less slowly towards you. So say, for example, you haven't necessarily been moving slowly towards a goal. Maybe you've been working your butt off, but manifesting that goal or whatever it may be has been like very slow. It feels like even though you've been doing, making a lot of the effort, it also feels like this manifestation is also going to be moving faster as well. It feels like this group as well is leaving behind imperfection, but this is in a way where you're becoming a master at something that you've been trying to perfect. So you're going to feel ready. You're going to feel like, okay, I have all the skills, I have all the tools as well. This group, you're also leaving behind things that didn't work, possibly relationships, and committing your time and energy towards things that aren't worth it or won't lead to anything. Some of you are leaving behind a career or job that you don't like, if that resonates for you. Some of you are leaving behind saving up for something, so it feels like you've been able to save enough, or you will soon have enough money saved to for something that you've wanted. You could also be leaving behind superficial feelings and maybe trying to connect with people you don't have anything in common with. Maybe trying to pursue these people or find validation from these people. You're also leaving behind being complacent and feeling disappointment in yourself, your direction, or an area of your life that is more knowledgeable to you. So what else are you leaving behind? We have it's not everyone else's fault, it's yours. And we also have stop sleeping so much. So some of you have been working so hard that maybe you haven't been able to rest as much. Maybe you haven't been able to have as much me time as you've wanted. But it feels like this group, what you're leaving behind is not resting, or not being able to rest enough, or not being able to have enough downtime. You're also leaving behind taking accountability for things that are not your fault. All right, so we have give it to God, take a deep breath, and on the exhale, release the situation to God for healing and answers. So this is something that I pulled these cards, these three, to represent what you guys could be moving towards. So it feels like this group, you're moving towards answers, you're moving towards having clarity. For some of you, this is in terms of your career, personal goals, family even. So we also have spread your wings and fly. So it feels like this group, you're definitely moving towards a situation where you do have more freedom. For some of you, you could be traveling. For some of you, this could be more financial freedom. Maybe you've been busting your ass so that you could have a bit more financial freedom, and this is something that you are moving towards. And finally, we have fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. So it feels like this group, you're moving towards something that you have been longing for, something that you've wanted, something that you've been working really hard towards. But it feels like you will definitely know what this is, especially if it has been moving quite slowly towards you, and you know it's not because of anything you've been doing, because you've been putting in, all the effort to kind of achieve whatever this thing is. But whatever it is that you have been longing for, it feels like that's what's moving towards you for this group. And it feels like you're going to not start to feel like you could already feel quite whole in yourself and your life. But if you don't, if you feel like, oh, I can't finish this thing, like you feel like it's near completion but not all the way complete, it feels like that's what you're moving towards as well. So something either could be wrapping up, or you could be moving on to the next level, or you could like see, it doesn't really feel like progress, it just feels like the completion of something. But anyways, that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense, but I'm wishing you all the best, okay? Please take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the first group, the citrine crystal, then this reading is for you. So what is it that you are leaving behind, group one? So we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. We also have the Justice card upright. All right, so it feels like this group, you're leaving behind feeling a lack of love, whether you feel like you don't have much love to give, whether you're feeling a lack of love from someone, or you're just feeling like there isn't much love in your life in general. For some of you, this could be a lack of love for yourself or just in yourself. But it feels like this group is moving towards feeling more confident, feeling content and appreciated. And it feels like you're also leaving behind not being or feeling independent, and generally just making better decisions for yourself. And also leaving behind feeling like you don't have any or much prospects, or the prospects that you actually want or need. Whether this is in your personal life, love life, job prospects, yeah, but moving forward, you're definitely going to see or realize that you have much more prospects than you thought you had. But this with the Eight of Cups coming out, this could require you walking away from something or leaving behind something or making some changes in yourself or for yourself. But yeah, it also feels like you're moving on, being emotionally hurt by someone, whether this is someone who is presently in your life or someone who hurt you in the past. So it does feel like you are leaving behind heartbreak and maybe being sensitive. For some of you, this could be being overly sensitive, maybe easily hurt. Maybe by other people, what they say, maybe even in their actions. But it feels like this group, you are moving towards not feeling so sensitive or not allowing things to kind of easily impact you. So there is going to be significant emotional balance that is coming up for this group. It feels like you're also leaving behind people who aren't loyal to you, people old and new. So, for example, if you meet someone in the future who you kind of determine that this person isn't or wouldn't be loyal to you, it feels like you wouldn't waste your time on them and you'll kind of just keep it moving, or draw boundaries with this person. So yeah. And it also feels like this group, you're going to stop not taking care of yourself. And this may not be, this could be in very like specific ways that you haven't been taking care of yourself, whether it's like, what you eat, or I don't know, something in your lifestyle, kind of just connecting with people who don't treat you right. It feels like you're going to be making better decisions in terms of how you care for yourself. It feels like you're kind of moving into a place where you feel more supported. This feels universally, and all the people around you are gonna, kind of show you they appreciate you more. And it also feels like this group, you're leaving behind being selfless, being kind, and being generous to people who maybe just don't deserve it, or simply you're not in the energy or the place to give, so not forcing yourself to be kind or pleasant, and kind of maybe just letting yourself feel how you feel, or not, being so generous that you kind of leave yourself in a worse position, maybe doing what you can to help if you can, but also not putting yourself in a worse position for other people, and maybe even just people who wouldn't do the same for you. So yeah, it feels like this group, you're going to be more, what's that word? I can't think of the right word, but yeah, more discerning with who you are generous to, who you're kind to, and not kind of forcing yourself to feel happy or jolly if that's just not how you're feeling, especially if you kind of are doing it for other people's sake. You are also leaving behind something you felt anxious about. It could be health related for some of you guys, work related, or something you are more aware of. It also feels like you're letting go of bitter feelings that you may have had towards someone, maybe even, bitter feelings that you've had towards yourself. It also feels like some of you are getting justice. So that's something else you will be able to leave behind and not have to think about it and not have to worry about it. Some of you could be leaving behind a marriage or another failing relationship, or being able to kind of make peace with a relationship or a situation that has already ended, but maybe you haven't been able to kind of move on from it emotionally. Maybe even in like, say for example, a married couple who's like splitting assets, like maybe you have moved on from it emotionally, but you haven't been able to move on from it like financially or in terms of a contract. So that's just an example, but it feels like you will be able to kind of put the final nail in the coffin and kind of just move on from something, whether it's emotionally and like, or in terms of a contract or something like that. You're also leaving behind being influenced by other people. It feels like this group is going to stand strong and firm in their own beliefs. It also feels like you're finally going to be able to decide on something. So some of you are moving on from not knowing what decision you should make. I may have already said this, but you're also leaving behind not feeling balanced or feeling like certain areas of your life are balanced. Some of you are also leaving behind wanting power, maybe even wanting some type of like karma or revenge for someone. It also feels like you could be getting over expecting someone to be honest and kind of just moving on from a situation or from a person without kind of maybe getting closure or the closure that you think you need or deserve. So what else are you moving on from? We have get some sleep. And we also have you need some yoga in your life. What are you moving on from? So with both of these cards, it feels like this group, I think I said this already, but it feels like you're leaving behind not maybe taking maybe your health seriously or kind of just doing more things to care for yourself, care for your health. So I pulled these three cards to see what this group could be moving towards. The first card we have is be gentle with yourself. So it says you've been through a lot and you need time to heal and recover. So yeah, this group is moving towards healing and recovering. Again, like what came out earlier, you could be, I don't know if it was in reference to a heartbreak, but yeah, it feels like you could be healing and moving on from something emotionally. It also feels like you are going to be giving yourself more grace as well, not putting too much pressure on yourself. We also have money. What are you moving towards? So some of you could be moving towards more financial freedom. That was clarified by the Six of Wands. So it either feels like you're going to have the money to do something. So if you've been wanting to travel, you're going to have the money to do that. Or if you want to upgrade certain things in your house, for example, then it feels like you'll have the money to do that or get a car. I don't know. But yeah, it feels like you're definitely going to have the money for something as well. And for some of you, maybe kind of spending a little extra money on yourself is a way or the way you'll be showing yourself more love, especially if you haven't been as generous to yourself when it comes to like kind of spoiling yourself in certain ways. It feels like that's what you're moving towards as well. And finally, we have moving forward. So it feels like this group, you are going to be able to move forward from something. This could be something hurtful with the Seven of Swords coming out. It could be a manipulation or something that hurt you emotionally. Four of Pentacles, it could be a situation that was controlling you, or you still feel like this situation has, you know, its claws or its grips on you, but it feels like you are going to be able to move forward in a positive way. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense, but I'm wishing you all the best. All right, take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the third group, the blue appetite, then this reading is for you. What are you leaving behind? We have the Hierophant in reverse. We have the Ten of Wands also in reverse. All right, so it feels like this group, you could be leaving behind traditions that aren't yours or traditions that you don't resonate with. These traditions could have been keeping you stuck or had you feeling out of place. For some of you, it could have even made you feel like a bit like an imposter, like maybe you weren't being true to yourself in some way. So it feels like you aren't living by other people's rules or expectations anymore. You could also be leaving behind a relationship or maybe even the desire for a relationship and just trying to be okay and content on your own, or kind of making peace with being on your own for a little while or for now, especially until you kind of find the right person or kind of align with something in your own self that kind of helps you align with someone who is more compatible for you. It also feels like this group, you're leaving behind stress, feeling restricted and trying to do your best to act responsibly. It feels like you're leaving that behind as well. It feels like you're kind of just trusting yourself and trusting that you're doing the best that you can and not kind of putting that unnecessary pressure on yourself either. Because it's not a bad thing, of course, that you're trying to be your best self and, you know, trying to be really responsible. But the amount of pressure you could be putting on yourself is unrealistic. And it feels like this group, you could be just understanding that being still and being where you are right now is all right. And any movement you will experience, it will be natural and it will come in due time. Some of you in this group are leaving behind a rat race, you know, and coming into a place where you kind of feel less chaotic, or your actions are less chaotic, and what you're moving towards is less chaotic. Like some of you could be trying to live conventionally, live a conventional path according to other people's beliefs, but that path may not be for you, and that could be something you're also leaving behind. It feels like this group, you're establishing your own rules, your own beliefs, your own views and way of life. It feels like you're kind of leaving behind perhaps misunderstanding your path and your purpose. And you're also moving on from trying to do too much by yourself. It feels like this group, maybe you're used to taking on extra responsibility, but it feels like that's something you're leaving behind as well. So we have you are being shady. What does that say? And we also have you got a feeling you just can't shake. And on the back of it, it says the voice inside your head, listen to that. All right, so I pulled those two cards as well to see what this group could be leaving behind. So some of you could have been having this nagging feeling about something or someone that you couldn't, you couldn't get over it. Like it was always there, even though you tried to kind of maybe put it out of your mind or kind of move on from this feeling, but that feeling was always there. It feels like you will be able to kind of move on from this feeling, whether that is you gaining clarity about the situation or something else happening that kind of allows you to leave that feeling behind. But it feels like that's something you will be able to do moving forward. I mean, this feeling could be about a person. It doesn't feel like it's in reference to yourself or your goals or your career or anything like that. It does actually feel more related to a person in your life, or a person who is not a big part of your life anymore. It feels like this group, you may realize that you were right about this person. So it feels like this group, you could also be moving on from not trusting someone. Maybe realizing you were right to not trust this person. So it kind of feels like you're not being, paranoid anymore. So I also pulled these 3 cards for what you're moving towards. We have increased support. So it says your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened the doorway to abundance of help and opportunities. So this group could also be moving towards increased support. We also have naked. So this group is also moving towards being vulnerable or moving towards being more honest with yourself. Do you have more from this? And finally, we have simple pleasures. And this group is also moving towards being able to kind of enjoy the simple things in life, or kind of figuring out what those simple things that will bring you pleasure are, and kind of doing more of that. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful and make sense. But I am wishing you the best, alright? Please take care. Bye.